Welcome back to another Warframe video with TS Terra. So today I want to go over something that I should have done maybe a bit earlier. And this topic was brought to me by some of my fellow Tenno in my clan, as well as some of the Tenno in my alliance. And they mentioned, since I'm doing Idle on Hunt videos, I should also consider doing Taker and Exploiter Orb, due to the fact that some of the better ant pieces are locked behind Little Duck. So I didn't know if I was going to have to go over this, but might as well. If you haven't started building any amps and you haven't started anything on Fortuna, don't freak out. It is a grind. Warframe's meant to be a grind, so if that freaks you out at this point, depending how far you're in the game, just take that mental note to know that Warframe is a huge grinding game. When you're first starting Eidolons, you're not going to do a lot of damage to them, and you need to go kill them to get technically sentient cores. Now, yes, you can kill Vomalus and you can kill Sentients on Lua and collect their cores and turn those in for standing, but the better cores that drop from when you pop a limb or kill the Eidolon, kill or capture, you can turn those in for more standing, as well as you can get amps from Little Duck. So there are two ways to go about this. I do suggest ranking up with the quills, it's important, as well as if you haven't started Fortuna, you need to. If you're getting into Eidolon hunts heavily, you should definitely be multitasking and doing Fortuna as well, because you need to get rank 5 with Utico to be able to start your Taker. Now, if you haven't hit rank 5, you can still come to Little Duck and you can still trade Torrids, and you can farm Torrids without doing Taker. From what I remember, the first few levels with Little Duck back here, you need to trade normal Torrids in. They're not that hard. Once you hit, I think, level 3 is when it starts wanting stuff from the Taker bounty hunter missions, which we'll go over in a little bit. Do you know offerings? She's got some decent amp pieces, some decent arcanes, and this is where you get Baruch and Hildren, for those that are not familiar with that. When you go to view, not view offerings, my bad. When you go to trade Torrids for standing, the Vega, Khalida, and Sola are ones that you might want to trade in the beginning. These are also the ones you're going to need to turn in to rank up, as well as I believe the Charisma for the final rank. The Lazulite is great to gain standing. You earn this one by killing the Exploiter Orb, which you do not need to unlock the Taker missions to start Exploiter. So at the end of this video, I'll also go over quickly how to do Exploiter, but for the most part, we're going to be focusing on the Taker. I'm going to go over strats of how to defeat it, what you want to look for if you haven't done it before, a few little tips and tricks here. So, these Torrids, as I was mentioning as well, you can farm them without doing Prophet Hunter missions, and we'll go over that as well. So, once you're rank 5, you can come over here and go to briefing. Before rank 5, you can go do Exploiter if you have enough Thermia fractures. There's also another way to do it without even coming in here and speaking to Utico. For Taker, there's 4 phases. You want to complete phase 1 to unlock 2, so on and so forth. If you notice, I mentioned about systems to level up with Little Duck. Every single one of these has the chance of giving you all 3 systems. The Gyromag, the Atmos, and the Repeller. you'll need to farm these out. Completing this mission, any of these, you only get rewarded once the whole mission's done. It's not like normal bounty hunter missions where, oh, I completed a portion, I get a reward. No. It's, congrats, you killed Profit Taker, here's your reward. So, heavy grind, don't freak out though. As you can see, these do drop Vega Toroids. This one drops the Colada, and this one drops the Sola. I don't suggest farming them for Toroids. I'll go over another way to farm Toroids that's, in my opinion, faster. If you do want to farm your systems out, I suggest repeat phase 2 over and over again. It is the fastest mission. I am not going to play through all these missions. They're just boring, in my opinion. Again, grind wall. Once you complete them, you do not have to redo them unless you want a specific reward. So if you're going for the rare mods, that's understandable. But if you're going because, like I said, primarily I've been focusing Eidolon hunts to teach people, and if you want to get through it as fast to continue your progress to Eidolon hunts, then just keep doing phase 2. If you don't know what phase 2 is, basically you go to the middle location of Fortuna, you go in and kill 3 targets. It has you leave the laboratory, you go and kill 2 Ambulus, grab the data mass, and go to the gate. That's it. It is the quickest mission to grind all of these resources. So that's what I suggest. Phase 3, if you haven't done a Profit Taker, this is how you actually get your, does it say in this? My bad. The Arc Gun Launcher. Once you complete phase 3, you are rewarded your Arc Gun Launcher. Your very first one if you haven't got it. So anyone who is new to doing Profit Taker and all that stuff, and you're like, oh, how do I call my Arcwing? I see people doing that in missions. This is how you do it. You grind up, you unlock these bounties, you complete phase 3, you get your Arc Gun Launcher. You're going to need the Arc Gun Launcher and equipped an Arc Gun to be able to kill the Profit Taker. Phase 3, you don't need to use an Arc Gun to kill it, so you don't freak out. Phase 3, though, you do fight the Profit Taker. A little spoiler. So I'll go over basically how to do that so you can prep your builds as needed. But you'll notice when I fight Profit Taker that the beginning segment of how I damage him, and you'll see he'll have like a blue shield. That blue shield will go down. What I do there and what everyone does there is basically what phase 3 is. It wants you to damage the Profit Taker with status damage and receive enough information or data on how to kill the Profit Taker. So don't freak out too much of like, oh my god, first time going into the mission, what do I do? Just bring weapons that are high in multiple different status damage. You don't even have to worry about status chance too much. It's straight statuses that you need. Bring a mix of them. Because, and this is getting into how to kill the Profit Taker, what you need to do to kill the Profit Taker is, it's the reverse of Eidolons. So Eidolons, we know, is radiation and as much crit chance you can basically get with damage. Profit Taker does not care about your crit chance. It is useless for the most part. What Profit Taker cares about is your status damage. Because you could bring the highest crit chance weapon in the game with no status damage, and yeah, he's just going to laugh at you. So you want to focus your weapons definitely on status a lot. So you also want to run a tanky frame. It does a lot of damage. There's a lot of ag controlling. And if you're going in by yourself, definitely bring someone tanky. If you're going in with a group, You could divide a lot of stuff. It's a lot easier. I suggest going in with a group of friends. You want someone for crowd control. You want someone who can do heavy damage, damage booster. Consider maybe Trinity to keep everyone healthy and alive. But realistically, it's just hit the target as hard as you can. So, as I mentioned, the Prophet Taker is weak to status damage types. So, you want to bring something that has a lot of damage and status, obviously. I've said it several times. So, if you're new to the game and this is the first time that you're really going over statuses, what are they? They're elemental damage and physical damage. Whenever you look at a weapon, you'll see them on the weapon. You've probably seen like, oh, a mod that applies heat damage. That's status. That's what you want to build. Prophet Taker will cycle through all the different types. And if you don't know what those are, well, for the physical, it is puncture, slash, and impact. Look at them. Take a note of what their symbols are. It's very important. The 4 elementals are fire, electric, cold, and toxic. Sorry on the delay. And fire's heat, cold, ice, electric, and toxic. And then you have the combination of those. So fire and toxic, gas. It can pop up that you need to do viral damage, corrosive, magnetic, blast. Any of the combination of those that you will have to do. So we'll go in. And you'll get to see the fight. I am running a what's known as selfish chroma to give myself buff and armor. I am also bringing my Opticore, which is built for a lot of puncture and toxic damage. I'm bringing my Epitaph, that for this it's built for fire and viral. And then I have my War just to try and help clear ads if I need to. My Chroma also has Smite Infusion, so I get radiation. As far as damaging the... we'll get into that actually in the fight. The Prophet Taker is kind of a 2-part fight. You do the status damage, and then you gotta damage its legs. That's gonna be used with the arc gun. Continuing forward. I'm sorry, I got distracted by something. We'll talk about that too at the end of the video, because it's quite entertaining. A brief discussion on it. I did mention also collecting toroids if you're not at Prophet Taker. So there are 3 spots on the map you want to go. They are the grow site, which is where we'll probably be kind of around. The Temple of Prophet and the spaceport. So you want to go to those 3 spots. Each one drops a different toroid. I apologize, I don't remember which one drops what. You can check that out on the wiki if you need a specific toroid. And if you've done Fortuna, and you can look at the left side of the screen where the mini-map is, you'll see 4 bars there. That is... I didn't even trigger the Prophet Taker mission, did I? Wow. That is the alert system. So you want all of those to fill up, and then you can go in, and as you kill enemies, they'll have a better chance of dropping the specific toroid in the area that I located. Basically, fight enemies, make them drop that little flag. Do not break the flag. If the flag breaks, then your alert system will go down. If the flag doesn't break, it keeps going up. And yes, you can have multiple flags, so it's very important to get multiple flags. Oh, I'm going to select Prophet Taker this time. Actually select it and do the mission. Skip through all the cutscenes. So, when going into this fight, the one thing you gotta know is that there are gonna be a lot of ads that spawn. The Prophet Taker takes quite a bit of damage. It dishes out quite a bit of damage, so you want something that can take a hit, as well as you need to push out damage. As you can see, it's already fire. And you want to look for that little thing. It's blast damage. I do not have that. You can cycle it through with your amp. Any void damage will change it. Radiation. It's now toxic. Go ahead, go out. So you can see the blue bars are already going down. Puncture. Wow, I'm actually getting amazing RNG this run. That is lovely. And there we go. I deleted all of his shields, per se. Next, you see the legs are vulnerable. This is where we need to call our Arcwing. This is where I was mentioning there is a second portion to the fight. And basically you want any arc gun that does a good amount of damage. I love the Larkspur. Some people like the Velocitus because it's higher in crit. Some people like the Corvus because it's also high in crit. This is where crit actually makes a difference in the fight. And yeah, you just break the legs, go around. Prophet Taker falls down. Now we break the center. And it is gated. So once you've done that, you'll see he will shoot out all these little thingies. Pylons. Go over to the said pylon. Break it. You will notice I will spam constant energy pads as chroma on any content, because keeping chroma's buffs up for me is essential when I am doing Prophet Taker solo. Now that you can damage these anyway. I just keep my arc gun out. It's quicker, as well as, again, the next phase is damaging the legs. So it's easiest just to keep the arc gun out to continue damaging. This fight has a ton of knockback as well, so be prepared for that. Those shields, if they hit you, they can push you. That's really aggravating, especially he's so close to the water on this spawn. Very annoying. I did not break one of the legs all the way. There it is. And now I can damage the Prophet Taker's health. Alright. And then he regains his shields once you do enough damage. So, now we gotta put our arc gun away. Buff. Recast this. Cast more of this. As you can see, the buff is right on the face of whatever weapon or damage he wants, or that you need to apply. I don't have, so I switch. I don't have gas either. You can use your arc gun for this portion as well. The Larkspur does have a lot of different statuses. It's just, if you haven't used an arc gun before and you're new to it, as you can see, I have a minute 46 since I had to put mine away. If you do not have ammo and you run out during the leg phase, like that's a big row. That's not fun to deal with. So I change it. It's now electric. I don't have the second half of these basically. Impact. And once you cycle through everything, it does rotate back and it keeps the same progression. So if you cycle past Puncture and you know you had Puncture and you remember what was before Puncture, it will be the same. Like whatever is after Impact from the first one will be after Impact. Magnetic. I didn't have Magnetic. Switch. Viral. So it is important to talk to your team. So Fire, remember we don't have Blast, because no one wants to skip past someone's damage. It's really a pain. Remember, after Blast was, if I can actually skip this if I want to prove a point. It's Toxic. And if I don't do enough damage after Toxic to finish it off, it would go to Puncture. For this run, if I left and come back, it would be a completely different set, but it's always going to stay the same throughout whatever it was. Yeah, those shields are annoying. They just push you around. I still can't pull that out. You could use a Necromech if you've gone and done demo stuff. There's no reason you can't. I just do not prefer the Necromech because chroma buffs are very nice for doing damage. So I like, you know, keep my chroma out instead of my Necromech. We break the legs. Break the last leg. It's down. Do the last bit of damage. And now I have to do it again. He shoots pylons out. Oh, that's upsetting. Come on, Larkspur wanna work? Maybe. Oh, that's a weird bug. Huh. My Larkspur seems to be not working. Well, that is frustrating. You could destroy these with anything. Like I said, I just prefer my arc gun, but as anything in the game, Warframe does have a few glitches. It happens. You gotta just work around it. Do your best. And now we have to do more damage. It is gas. This portion is time gated, so you want to work as quick as you can. But once I delete these blue shields again, we'll be officially into the final leg break, and then the final break of final break of the body, and then we'll be all good. Believe magnetic. Yeah, I don't have magnetic. What's next? Stop, stagger, go away. Delete that. Fire. Again, very important to not touch the water. That would make me lose everything as far as like buffs and stuff due to magnetic damage, and it resets everything because how the game works. So be very cautious. It's not always gonna spawn in this location. so you shouldn't always have to worry about it, but it's definitely something to keep a note of. Last hit. Yep, last hit. I'm gonna kind of get away from the ads as I call my arc gun out. The ads are very annoying. As you can see, I have a little over 2 minutes to finish off the last bit. Really is blocking that leg. Alright, and then we do the final damage on the body. Whoop, I don't want to die. Come on. And there we go. Prophet Taker is now dead. And as you see, we've received Gyromax systems. Don't leave the area immediately, because you want to wait for the Prophet Taker to do that and drop the rewards. And then once you pick all the rewards up, you do want to kind of get out of the area. I will stay in the area. Oh no, I will not stay apparently. I'll stay in the area and just kind of show off what happens. Basically, he explodes and it does a lot of damage. It hurts a lot, but I'm pretty sure we could live it with a Mesha. You can live it if you hide in your Tenno or have any other ways of living just in general damage. But it summons this big thing. Energy. And yeah, that would kill you if I wasn't in a Mesha. So that's the Prophet Taker fight. That's all there is to it. It is a lot. It's very overwhelming if you haven't done it a lot. I will admit, I tried to do it earlier today and I got overwhelmed. I got frustrated. So if you're trying to solo it, just don't let yourself get frustrated. It's a very simplistic fight. And before I leave, I will actually go show off the Exploiter Orb. Because Exploiter, there's only one frame you can bring to slightly make a difference, and that's Gara. And I don't feel like swapping to do it. So there's a cave all the way out here. If you don't want to have to worry about talking to Yutiko and like selecting the mission, basically come all the way out here. Fly all the way here. And then there's a tunnel. And you can drop into this tunnel. Can come down here. You do not have to worry about this. They still have not done anything for that for console. You come in through here. You will see a loading screen. This is setting us up to go in to fight Exploiter Orb now. You come through here. Come all the way to this console, press X, and now if we look up, Exploiter Orb will come in. The first portion of this fight, it doesn't really matter what you bring, as far as honestly anything. Bring something that can reach kind of a far distance. Break those 2 rocks. Exploiter then falls down. Exploiter gets upset. I'm gonna choose to break one of these back vents. Maybe. There it is. You break a vent. Exploiter's gonna go over to the side. This next portion of the fight, I like to do in my Tenno. It's my preference. You can fight it in any frame. You'll be dealing with tiny arachnoids. Basically, there's a station here that's gonna drop coolant cells or heated cells. There is a station, I believe, up here that drops them. Of course, I'm frozen. Station down here. And then one last station over here. 4 stations, so if you're playing with you and 3 other friends, you can each get your own. Pick up the Thermia canister. You want to come behind. Wait for her to get done with all her annoying, body movements, and she's gonna do a slam. Aim up at the vent, throw it. I believe each vent needs anywhere from 2 to 3 good throws. And then once you have a vent open, you can then shoot it and damage it. You can throw while she's in this animation. It's not that you can't. You won't lose the canister. It's just, it's annoying to aim for. Like, that was a terrible throw, and yet it counted for me on the one, so I ain't gonna complain. I will take it. Exploiter is probably, out of all things in the game, I would consider one of the more easy fights, but it's also one of the most time-gated fights. And that's just due to the fact that you have to throw the right amount of canisters. There's no speeding up canisters, there's no shooting more than 1 vent at a time. And you'll notice once I break these 2 vents that, oh wow, I lost track of my health. Good job, Terra. Way to be a nub. Alright, I broke the 2 vents. There is a 4th vent I need to break, but as I said, time gated. Once you break 2 vents, Exploiter is going to go to the middle. And again, no different than before. We come over, we grab ourselves a canister. We have to aim upwards and throw it at the vent and hit the vent. And now the vent is free to be shot at. And did I actually? Alright, cool. Broke it. Now, Exploiter is going to leave this portion of the arena. No, maybe not yet. Now we leave. If you take a while in the middle, Exploiter can come to the side that it entered on. I just did it quick. Sometimes you'll break it, or not break the vent, but you'll free the vent, and then Exploiter comes over here. Now, you can stack some canisters. You can grab them, but the thing is, once Exploiter leaves, these do not spawn anymore. I have done runs where me and friends have taken canisters into this middle room and stacked them up. Honestly, once you see phase 2, you may think it sounds like a great idea. It might help the beginning go a bit smoother, but this part really is so time gated. Like, I've never seen anyone speedrun this. There's no reason to speedrun it. Maybe it's just my lack of knowledge on Exploiter, because there's no reason to run Exploiter unless you need Hildren or you're trying to get that one toroid. Like, that's it. It's the only thing Exploiter offers. But as you can see, there is a heat gauge to the left of the Exploiter Orb. We want that gauge to get all the way up. So the way we do that is we throw canisters and we look for these baby arachnoids before they get to her. And basically they shoot coolant off at her. So if I can kill that one before, nope. Basically, he shot coolant to cool her down. Her flamethrower heats her up. She'll do a wall that heats her up. The pounding in the ground opens up the terrain, that if you kill a baby arachnoid before it shoots the coolant, that's how you get heated canisters up here. So as you can see, coolant. Drop it in. Pick it up, throw at her, heat her up. There's times where people say you can shoot the canister. If you shoot it in the right spot, it'll do more heat to her if you throw it at vents. Honestly, I've never found anything that is 100% that works. Eventually she overheats. Like, so don't freak out. Like, she's gonna cool herself off. They're gonna cool her off. From everything I remember, no Warframe abilities work on the arachnoids. In regards of Nova Slow doesn't work. You can't use any heat weapons to overheat her. You just gotta keep doing this method of letting her overheat. You know, killing arachnoids before they cool her and throwing them at her. Now that she's heated up, we jump up. Get one of the first animations that Warframe added into a boss fight, actually. If you're newer to the game and you fight Jackal and you're like, Jackal has it, actually, they implemented this to Exploiter before even the Jackal had it. And then we shoot that little fire spot as I'm getting shot at. Okay, that's enough of your flamethrower. I've never really figured out the weapons that's best. I honestly bring something that does high damage. There might be a weakness, but there's no time rush to this. There's no nothing. This, like I said, it's probably one of the more relaxing fights in the game that I can think of doing. Again, it's also because it's so heavy time gated, I feel. Physically throw that up. And it's a rinse and repeat. You pull a total of 3 things off the Exploiter, shoot 3 things, and that's it. The only strat, I do apologize, I've bounced around a bit. The major strat to stop the arachnoids that does work, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't feel like switching to Gara, is actually Gara. They cannot phase through Gara's wall. Gara's wall prevents them from coming in. So if you do like a really nice range duration Gara with some strength to keep the arachnoids away from her, it slows them down. it prevents them from getting to her as quickly, which can help, especially if we got more people hunting them down to get the canisters. But all in all, it's not like game changing in my opinion. It's doable without the Gara. And if you don't know before you cast the wall, if you do choose to do the Gara build, you want to jump up the air and cast it up there. And it's a tricky spot. If you do it enough, you'll start to kind of get a feel for it. Basically, you want the wall to have a hider like up enough in the air that it covers all this terrain. Because if the top of your wall stops right here, the arachnoids somehow are able to just walk over it. And then if you put it too high, they just, you know, walk under it. This terrain isn't like perfectly flat. So that's also why I say Gara is like not needed. It's not essential. It might make it run a bit faster and more smooth. That's about it. Again, she's still time gated. Me and friends have like thrown several canisters at her at a time that we stacked up. I think once we stacked up to 20 and we kept running back and forth with a Gara wall preventing them, and like the game was just like, okay, cool, you threw 20, it made no difference. We're like, again, that was a long time ago, so maybe they changed it. Feel free to correct me. I haven't done any Prophet, Taker, and Exploiter fights in probably over a year. So, but as you can see, they do come from up there. So as Exploiter moves closer and closer to this spot, it gets more and more tricky for a Gara to place the wall, just because, you know, you gotta defend both ends with the Gara. You could also bring multiple Garas. That's something me and friends talked about doing, wondering, hey, you know, would it work? It could help out more. Maybe there's a secret double Gara strat, triple Gara strat to keep everything locked out as you know, let her overheat more. Again, it speeds up the fight a bit, but there's nothing like, in my opinion, there's nothing like true speed running this. It's not like Eidolons, it's not like Prophet Taker. Your weapons don't mean much. You know, it's overheating her. That's what means something. And none of these arachnoids that you fight, it's not like they're invincible to kill. I'm just not getting to them quick enough in this video. And yeah, that's what the Gara's wall's for. Oh, this is the lovely heat wall. This overheats her. If you take too long, this is what happens basically. She does this, she stands there, and just overheats. If you can trigger the turret as well while that's going on, or right after, that's amazing. If you get stuck outside that wall before it appears, you cannot get into her unless the Tenno Void Dash still works. You also can't get out of that wall unless the Tenno Void Dash works. But there's really no reason. Like, you shouldn't be worried about, oh, getting stuck or in or out of this. Actually, I can test it. No, they fixed it. How about that? Yeah, so there's no getting in or out. But again, it's not like you really need to worry about that. So we pulled the second piece off. Now it's damage phase. I guess this part you could argue, oh, this is where your weapons matter because you want to damage. I mean, yeah, but it's not like you have to do anything crazy Eidolon Hunt build wise. In my opinion, a few shots and it goes down. Could bring Rubico for precision. Opticore. I mean, anything works in my opinion. As long as it's something that can aim from a distance and, you know, dish out damage. Obviously, don't expect I mean, even I guess a shotgun could work. You just have to jump up there then. But, I don't know, don't expect, like... Don't expect, like, to kill that part with a melee at that point. Like, you need some distance. That's realistically it. The game does say shoot the canister. Some people say shooting it, if you can actually aim and shoot the canister, it overheats the exploiter more. I never really been able to try it because I always have the melee out to kill these guys. Go ahead, test it. If you test it and you find it works, throw it in my comment section, let me know. I'll be more than gladly to admit I was wrong. And I will say more and more that I've been here. I think if I was Gara, I would be a lot closer to being done by now. But not by much. Because those little arachnoids, don't underestimate them. They might not hurt you, but a Gara wall, they will break it eventually. And all they gotta do is break one little portion. Then they come waltzing on in. I don't know, I feel like that so many canisters, no fractures. Fractures are so far away too. That's what gets annoying with this fight too, is that you can overheat her so much, and then eventually your fractures just dwindle away, that you have to wait for her to ground pound the ground to give you more fractures, which ground pounding the ground makes her cool herself off. Where'd my canister go? No, she finally did it. Yep. Oh, finally ground pounding. Can maybe find, you know, fractures for all these canisters I got. Wish all that work I did just for her to get rid of. why I say this is all time gated. And quite a few of my friends agree. None of us like really doing Profit Taker. Or not Profit, Exploiter Orb, because it's a nuisance. I'm not gonna lie. More of that shenanigans. As you can see, we are now at yellow. I didn't do much. It just magically like spiked up. Magically going. The flamethrower does contribute, but I don't think it's enough to like justify that. Oh, it's not time gated. I'm pretty positive that the fight eventually it just overheats. Maybe you could speed it up a bit, don't get me wrong. This portion definitely can be sped up the more damage you do, but again, it's not like that takes a lot. And that is how you kill the Exploiter Orb. No, you could keep going in and out and keep going. You can actually, if you want to risk your game not freezing or doing other issues, you can go back to that cave that's right here. Yeah, right here, this waypoint cave. You can keep going back in there, and you can keep doing this fight. And you can keep killing over and over and over again, and keep getting rewards. But I'd advise against it, because the game sometimes freaks out and then you lose all your rewards, and no one likes losing their rewards. And there we go. So from the amount of time it's taken me to kill Profit Taker and Exploiter Orb, I've gotten toroids from both of them. Resource boosters do work on all toroids. They are a picked up drop, at least the ones you pick up. So even if you choose to go to Spaceport to go collect and, you know, get the tier 4 on the left side, like I said, don't break the little flags. Keep killing. You can collect your toroids that way. You can collect the, you know, rare ones or the higher tier ones as well from Profit and Exploiter. They are a ground drop, so if you have a resource booster, you get 2. You know, it's multiple ways of doing it. But so I mentioned something earlier, much earlier in the video, where I paused. The clan I am in, because I have been inviting people who watch these videos to join our Discord. You are still more than welcome to join the Discord. We had some drama. I don't really care to get into it. I find it hilarious. But our clan name has changed due to said drama. So we are actually currently working on a new name as we speak. But the Discord is still open for all to join. The Discord name is still Blood of the Covenant. We will change the name once we change the clan name in game. We're talking to the devs. I'm hoping that they're cool enough to maybe give us a free name change. If not, we'll just pay the plat. Because someone had a humongous hissy fit and decided that they were a bigger person by changing our clan name and writing silly stuff all over our dojo and deleting our alliance as if it was gonna do something, and it's just hilarious. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So if you join our server, no, we're really chill, we're really cool. Please don't bring in drama. We don't tolerate that shit. Like, I'm gonna put it here, and in the video, in the description, I'll have the link to the Discord. I'm just gonna name it Discord link for now. So, and in future videos, whenever, like I said, we actually get a clan name and decide what we're gonna name our clan, we'll change it. And I'll start, saying its name in the link above. For now, it's just gonna be Warframe Discord. And when you join and you see Blood of the Covenant Discord, don't think you hit the wrong thing, it's the right thing. Or if you see it's a different name, just make sure TS Terra's in there. If you see TS Terra, that's me. You know that's a Discord that I'm a part of. There's quite a few I'm in. I have my friends that I plan to be promoting once he's ready to open up his clan. That's also in our alliance. I believe he's still trying to work out what he wants to do in the game, how he wants to go about that. But we're willing to welcome anyone and everyone. So if you see these videos and you're like, man, I really like this content, I really want to play with this guy, or if you follow me on Twitch and you see some of the other people I play with and you're like, man, they seem knowledgeable or whatever, or you just want to come and hang out in a Discord server, because we are opening it to the public to play other games, such as possibly Dead by Daylight, Deep Rock Galactic, all sorts of different stuff. Anything you see me post, you can talk to us about, and we'll go from there. It is a older server that we're trying to bring into a new light. But yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, this has been a fun video to make. Hope you all have a good one.